do a fiberglass cast, a non-waterproof one, using soft band as the undercast. You need a piece of stockinette. Just cut a very small hole for the thumb because it will stretch, and leave enough on each end to be folded over. So just pop your stockinette on with your thumb through that hole. So this cast would be made for someone with a distal radius fracture, or maybe a carpal bone fracture. So next thing we need is a soft band. We usually go a couple of times around the wrist, so you want to wind it away from yourself and then up through the web space, just tearing it a little bit. And I usually go through the web space 3 times. And one more time. The trick with the soft band underneath is you don't want layers and layers and layers of it, because it will bottom out and then your cast will be too loose. So you wind it down the arm, again winding away from yourself, and you want it same as you would a thermoplastic splint, about 2/3 the length of the forearm. And then just tear off what you don't need. You don't need to use the whole roll. With your stockinette, then you fold that up there so you've got a nice smooth edge, and then over the hand. Might have made that a little bit too long, but we just want to make sure that we've got a lot of room around the thenar eminence and clearing the distal palmar crease. Okay, then we're going to open up our delta cast fiberglass. Make sure that you're wearing gloves, because the cast material, the fiberglass will stick to your hands. You also need a pair of scissors that are okay to get fiberglass on them. So a disposable pair, don't use the good big silver scissors. Put your gloves on. So we're not trying to manipulate a fracture or anything. We should only be doing these on sort of non-displaced stable fractures. So we're just going to make the cast in a neutral position. We undo our fiberglass. What you see in orthopaedic clinics and things where they're doing lots of casts is that they'll dip this in water to make it go off quicker. But I always just wrap it on how it is. Don't dip it in water. It gives you a bit longer working time. So what we do is go 3 times around the wrist, or 2 or 3, maybe 3, 2. 1, 2, and then we go up. Try not to touch your face or your glasses. Up through the web space. So we cut here, through your web space, and then just catch those 2 ends. Go around the wrist again, and then up through the web space. David thinks Bridget's broken her arm. Now, back again to catch those 2 ends. And this is the last, so we're going 3 times through the web space. On your 3rd one, fold each end so it looks nice and neat. So I'm folding it over. And then I'm catching those 2 ends here. And then all you have to do is just wind it down the arm, overlapping by about 1/3 each time. The trick with fiberglass is not to pull it tight. Just wrap it on how it unwinds, and then the cast won't be too tight. And down. And then again, Bridget's got a pretty small arm, so we're not going to need all of this roll, so don't try to use it. It'll be too thick and too hard to cut off. So just cut it off where you need it. And then it'll stick to itself there. Now the trick here then is to get some moisturiser on your hands, just some Sorbeline onto your gloves, and pat down your edge down the bottom so it sticks, and then start moulding into your palm, and you're making sure you've got lots of room around the thumb and no sharp areas. Takes about 10 minutes to set, and you can ask the patient to wait in the waiting room for 10 minutes if you like, or do your notes while you're waiting for that fiberglass to become a bit harder. I always tell the patient it feels a bit warm. Do you feel it's warm as the fiberglass is going off? But you can see here I've got a nice edge here. And no sharp edges around the thinner eminence. And then you're just moulding it in a neutral position. You're not really looking for extension or flexion. Just straighten your fingers, Bridget, and make a fist. Good. Straighten up and touch your thumb to each fingertip. How's that feel? Good. And again, you're just looking to making sure that you're not deviating the wrist either.